You just put down a bowl of premium kibble that costs more than your own dinner. They inhaled it in exactly 4 seconds flat. And now they are sitting by the refrigerator looking at you with the desolate, soul-crushing eyes of a Victorian orphan who hasn't seen a crumb of bread in a fortnight. Welcome to the great canine culinary mystery. Why does your dog always act like they are absolutely starving, even when their belly is full? It's a performance deserving of an Academy Award, truly. The way they can conjure up a pathetic whimper and a trembling paw the moment you open a bag of chips, completely ignoring the fact that they just ate a meal the size of their own head. But before you succumb to the guilt and hand over that piece of cheese, know that this isn't just your dog being dramatic. Okay, it's a little bit dramatic, but it's also deeply rooted in evolutionary history, fascinating biology, and some clever psychological manipulation that they have perfected over thousands of years of living alongside us humans. To understand why your pampered pooch acts like a desperate scavenger, we have to rewind the clock back before they were sleeping on memory foam beds and wearing little raincoats, back to when their ancestors, the gray wolves, were roaming the wild. In the wild, there is no guarantee of breakfast, lunch, and dinner served promptly at 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. Life for a wild canid is a constant game of feast or famine. When a wolf pack takes down large prey, they don't politely portion it out into Tupperware for later in the week. They eat as much as they physically can, right then and there, because they have no idea when their next successful hunt will be. It could be days or even a week before they eat again. Mother Nature installed a very powerful survival drive in their brains that screams, "Food is available! Eat it all! Right now! Don't leave a crumb because another predator might steal it, or you might starve later." Even though your golden retriever, Buster, lives in a climate-controlled house with a guaranteed supply of food, that ancient primal voice in the back of his brain hasn't gotten the memo that the famine is over. That inner wolf is still whispering to him that every single morsel of food he sees, whether it's in his bowl, on your plate, or dropped on the kitchen floor, is a rare and precious resource that must be consumed immediately for survival. They are hardwired to be opportunistic scavengers, always on the lookout for the next calorie infusion, just in case winter comes early. But it's not just ancient history driving this behavior, it's also their bizarre biology. A dog's stomach is truly a marvel of digestive engineering, designed specifically for that gorge and fast lifestyle. Unlike human stomachs, which are somewhat rigid and send signals of fullness to the brain relatively quickly as they stretch, a dog's stomach is incredibly elastic. It's like a heavy-duty garbage bag that can stretch to accommodate massive amounts of food in a very short period. This accordion-like stomach means they don't get that "thanks Thanksgiving I ate too much" feeling nearly as quickly as we do. Furthermore, their digestive systems work much faster than ours. Food moves through their tract with incredible speed, meaning that the sensation of having a full belly is fleeting. So, 10 minutes after inhaling their dinner, their stomach has already started processing that meal. The stretch receptors have relaxed, and their brain is already thinking, "Huh? I could probably fit a little something else in there. Maybe a shoe? Or that half a sandwich on the counter?" We also have to talk about the superpower that dictates almost everything a dog does: their nose. A dog's sense of smell is tens of thousands of times more acute than ours. We walk into a kitchen and smell lasagna baking. A dog walks in and smells the tomatoes, the oregano, the specific type of cheese, the flour in the noodles, and probably what you cooked for breakfast yesterday too. Their world is painted in scents, and to a dog, almost everything smells interesting. And if it smells interesting, it's probably worth tasting. This is why they are constantly patrolling the kitchen floor like fuzzy Roombas. They aren't just looking for food, they are investigating their environment with their mouths. Their primary way of exploring the world is olfactory and oral. Sometimes that desperate begging isn't genuine hunger, but an overwhelming sensory curiosity. What is that amazing thing you're eating? It smells like salt and grease and happiness. I must experience it. Their drive to investigate scents is so powerful, it often overrides the physical sensation of being full. Now, here's where things get really interesting, and where science proves your dog might actually be bottomless. For some breeds, the "I'm full" switch in their brain is literally broken. Researchers have found a genetic mutation in many Labrador retrievers and flat-coated retrievers affecting a gene called POMC. This gene is responsible for telling the brain that the body has had enough to eat and should stop feeling hungry after a meal. In dogs with this mutation, that signal doesn't get sent properly. They finish a giant bowl of food and their brain is still screaming, "I am starving! We need calories!" They genuinely do not feel satiated the way other dogs might. So, if you own a lab who looks at you with genuine desperation after eating a Thanksgiving feast, they aren't faking it. Their brain chemistry is actually telling them they haven't eaten. It's a biological drive that makes them incredible food-motivated learners, but also prone to obesity if their humans aren't careful gatekeepers of the treat jar. Finally, we have to admit our own role in creating these adorable monsters. We humans are absolute suckers. Dogs have co-evolved with us for so long that they have developed specific facial muscles, like the ones that raise their inner eyebrows, to create those irresistible puppy dog eyes that trigger a nurturing response in humans. They look at us like sad human infants, and our immediate instinct is to comfort them, usually with food. They have learned through trial and error that if they sit by the table and let out a tiny, pathetic sigh, someone will eventually slip them a piece of steak. This is called learned behavior or positive reinforcement. You think you are just giving them a tiny treat because they look cute, but what you are actually doing is training them. You are teaching them. The performance works. If I act like I am dying of starvation, the tall, hairless monkeys will dispense the good snacks. They have trained us just as much as we have trained them. Furthermore, sometimes that begging isn't hunger at all, but boredom. Eating is an activity. It's entertaining. It's something to do. If your dog isn't getting enough mental stimulation or exercise, they might fixate on food because it's the most exciting part of their day. So, the next time your dog tries to convince you they haven't eaten since the Ice Age, remember, it's a complex cocktail of ancient wolf survival instincts, a super stretchy stomach, an incredibly powerful nose, potentially some faulty genetics, and the fact that they know exactly how to manipulate your emotions with one look. It's not gluttony, it's just being a dog. Which dog behavior fact surprised you the most? Does your dog have a specific starving face they use to trick you out of treats? Tell us all about your hungry hounds in the comments below. If you loved learning about the quirky science behind your pup's habits, give this video a giant thumbs up, share it with fellow dog lovers, and smash that subscribe button for more tail-wagging tales.